God's hatred of sin, committed by his chosen people, the Israelites. God, in his holiness and justice, cannot tolerate sin, even when it is committed by his chosen people, the Israelites. His hatred of sin is rooted in his pure nature and his desire for Israel to live in righteousness according to their covenant. This divine opposition to sin reinforces the importance of holiness and obedience in the life of his chosen nation. 1. God's hatred for sin and love for righteousness. Psalm 11:5. The Lord tests the righteous, but his soul hates the wicked and the one who loves violence. This verse emphasizes God's dual role as a tester of the righteous and a judge of the wicked. Even among his chosen people, God detests those who pursue sin, specifically the acts of violence and wickedness. His hatred for sin reflects his perfect righteousness, and his expectation is that Israel will uphold his standards by avoiding all forms of evil. 2. Additional scriptures on God's hatred of sin. Deuteronomy 25:16. For all who do such things, all who act dishonestly, are an abomination to the Lord your God. In this passage, God declares dishonest actions as an abomination. This strong language underlines the seriousness with which God views sin, especially among his covenant people. Israel is expected to act justly in all matters as a reflection of God's justice and purity. 2 Samuel 11:27. But the thing that David had done displeased the Lord. When David committed adultery and murder, God was deeply displeased, even though David was a chosen king of Israel. This account demonstrates that God does not tolerate sin even among his chosen leaders, and he holds his people accountable for actions that violate his standards. Psalm 5:5. The boastful shall not stand before your eyes, you hate all evildoers. God's intolerance for sin includes hatred toward those who actively pursue evil. This divine hatred is directed toward sinful actions that lead his people away from holiness. For Israel, this reinforces the need for humility and obedience, as God cannot accept unrepentant evildoers in his presence. Proverbs 6:16-19. There are 6 things that the Lord hates, 7 that are an abomination to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that make haste to run to evil, a false witness who breathes out lies, and one who sows discord among brothers. This passage lists behaviors that God specifically detests, including lying, violence, and divisiveness. Each of these actions is considered an abomination to God, highlighting the importance of moral integrity and unity within Israel. These sins damage the covenant community, and God's hatred for them serves as a warning to remain pure and just. Zechariah 8:17. Do not devise evil in your hearts against one another, and love no false oath, for all these things I hate, declares the Lord. God instructs Israel to avoid evil intentions and false oaths, as these are actions he despises. His hatred of deceit and malice underscores the expectation that his people live in truth and righteousness. For Israel, this means maintaining a sincere and faithful community in line with God's holy character. Luke 16:15. And he said to them, You are those who justify yourselves before men, but God knows your hearts. For what is exalted among men is an abomination in the sight of God. Jesus reveals that God sees beyond outward appearances, detesting the sin that can exist in the heart, even if hidden from others. This emphasizes God's demand for inner purity among his people, reminding Israel that they cannot conceal sinful motives from his eyes. In summary, God's holy nature is fundamentally opposed to sin, which he cannot tolerate even among his chosen people, the Israelites. His hatred for sin highlights the seriousness with which Israel is to approach their covenant obligations, living in obedience and rejecting all actions that defy his righteous standards.